Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another deck profile. Today I'm here with Nick, who got top 4 at the NJ 1K event over the weekend with Fuse Zamasu. So it's definitely been quite some time since we've seen this deck do much in the meta. Honestly, Blue hasn't been doing a lot except for like Blue Baby. So firstly, Nick, how's it going, man?
Very good. How you doing tonight?
Awesome, man. Cannot complain. So I know you're obviously friends with Amani Edwards, for people who don't know. I know you guys both played this deck at the event. What made you guys want to mess with Zamasu in set 12?
Well, we were trying to abuse the Heroic Prospect card, and this seemed to be the best deck to do it.
Okay, so the main reason was for Heroic Prospect. It is a really good floodgate in this meta. Is that's really the number one reason why you want to play blue, or this type of blue deck?
Yeah, basically.
All right, cool. So obviously the deck offers quite a bit. The leader, I think, is really strong. And the thing with like modern DBS right now, at least like when you're looking at a meta deck or a rogue deck that can maybe become meta, like maybe Fuse Zamasu, I think you want to look at a leader that does really powerful stuff. So I can kind of see why you're leaning on this leader more so than any other leader, because you're either drawing 2 cards per turn, which in and of itself is kind of insane, or you just have literally free removal. Like those two things I think are definitely very, very powerful on the leader. So we'll get into the main kind of engine with the deck. So you got to play your 4 Zeno Cosmic Unisons and your 4 Zamasu Cosmic Trader. For anyone who doesn't know how Zamasu works, generally on turn 2 you're gonna play Cosmic Trader. You're gonna flip a card into your energy from the top of your deck, and then you're gonna play Zeno Cosmic Unison. So Nick, a lot of people play the Goku Black 2-drop. The name is kind of escaping my brain right now, but it's a card you can basically charge directly from your hand. So if you don't draw the Zeno Unison, you can still get Awakened, but your list doesn't play that card. So were these 8 kind of self-awakeners enough? Did you guys ever try that Goku Black that I'm talking about?
We didn't really try it. Zeno is the main part. You can miss Trader, you can miss Awakening to 4. The really important part is Zeno, so you don't go Ultimate Neg off your leader effects, which you want to do every turn.
Okay, gotcha. So really, as long as you see Zeno, you kind of feel okay?
Yeah, as long as you're able to let your leader go ham, the leader should be able to take care of most matchups by itself.
Gotcha. So I played against Amani, and I played against you as well in the tournament. We ended up drawing. I ended up taking the game against Amani. But Zamasu and Zeno sometimes can flip off-color energy, right? It's very, very rare because you play a low number, which we'll see in just a bit. But if that happens with Zamasu, then you can't play your Zeno because you have to play Zamasu before Zeno, right? So how often in the tournament did that happen, that you got like kind of screwed out of your turn 2 Awaken?
It never happened to me at that specific tournament, but I know it did happen to Amani once. It does suck, but the cards that are off color are absolutely necessary for the main deck.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like a necessary evil, if you will.
Yeah, it's a high risk when it happens, but the reward is just so sweet.
Gotcha. Okay, and then Intersecting Fates. I like this choice a lot, especially at 4 copies. One of my teammates, Marcus, has been playing Fuse Zamasu for a long time, just like you guys. And I always I test against them. And, the Zamasu leader kills one of your energy to do one of the following effects, right? Either drawing 2 cards or, bottom decking a battle card. So I feel like sometimes he kills that energy without using it. And I told him Intersecting Fates would be a great card to fill that spot. So overall, I mean, how did this card perform for you, would you say?
This card overperformed for me. This card was absolutely amazing every time I play it. I never feel bad about keeping it, and I never feel bad about playing it. It's the perfect energy fit for when I'm trying to use my energy, and I don't quite have a full energy to play.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely agree. One thing I'll ask, I guess, real quick. How do you feel about this versus just like a battle card that draws one? Like, I know Intersecting Fates gets you the filter. It also gets you the untap. But do you think like a 1-drop that would serve as a 5k combo would be better, or you think Intersecting Fates is just better for the untap and the choices?
I think Intersecting Fates is definitely better. The choices are very nice, but it's very important that it actually goes 2 cards down from your deck, and that helps you find Zeno. It's also better against Mecha. I can actually play that card turn 1 without getting U9 assembled because I untap at the end of the turn.
I like that a lot. That's actually a really good meta call. I definitely like that a lot. And then these cards here, you kind of just play them like obviously super combos, and then you got your 8 Trunkses that go with your Unison. And yeah, you guys said you really wanted to abuse SS2 Trunks Heroic Prospect, and you're playing 4 copies, which I like a lot. A lot of blue decks I see, even if like it's Blue Baby or like some other rogue blue decks, they play like 2 or 3 Heroic Prospect. I really like it at 4. So what decks, because you guys said you wanted to abuse this card, what decks were you really looking at? You said, hey, this is probably going to be at New Jersey, or this is probably going to be the meta, and I really want Heroic Prospect for this reason. Like, what were those kinds of decks?
Debra was the big one, obviously being one of the more represented decks out of most tournaments. Obviously, there wasn't a ton there, so it was unfortunate, but Debra was the main reason.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I think cards like this and cards like Violent Rays are definitely pushing Dark Broly out of the meta, which is interesting. But I think blue actually still has a pretty good red matchup. So, it's kind of funny, like blue and red, I feel like they came about in the meta to kind of counter Dark Broly, but now they're almost countering each other. Like, I think blue does do very well against red, and red's like all over the place right now. So I do like this pick a lot. I think Heroic Prospect's obviously an incredible card. And then we got some more of the utility stuff. So firstly, you're playing 4 Goku Black Rose Lofty Aspirations. So I mentioned before the Goku Black, I think his name is Future Decimator. It kind of just clicked back in my head. But that Goku Black that you charge directly from your hand by his own skill, a lot of people played that card to then evolve into this Goku Black. But it seems like you guys are just playing 4 copies with the goal of just like hard charging one copy and then evolving into another copy. So 4 is definitely the highest number I've seen almost any Zamasu list play. Sometimes I see them play 2, sometimes I see them play 3, again with the reasoning of they'll evolve over a different Goku Black in their energy. But that seems like the main combo you guys are going for. Charge one of these, play one of these. How often did this card like win you a game or set you up to be in like a winning position?
This card's really good against those slower matchups, blue mirror matches, Sen Shenron and Invoker. It's pretty much the king in those 3 matchups so that they never get to their big turns, and I continue to do what my deck does, which is punch you with the leader and other cards.
Gotcha, fair enough. And yeah, I do like how it's like an in-archetype kind of triple strike boss monster. It feels like a lot of blue decks, they kind of lack like a really good top end that's like before turn 7, which we'll see that in a bit. But here are your off-color cards. So a lot of blue decks starting to play like all mono blue. Like I think like set 13 Gohan and even decks prior to that have started trying to play 50 mono blue cards or however many mono blue cards, because sometimes like ramping into these off-color cards can kind of screw you up. But in this deck, I think it's a bit more flexible. And like you said, like these cards are pretty staple. I mean, Sand Instincts, you kind of don't really have to explain it. Like blue just kind of needs that draw power. Sand Instincts makes sense. And then the 2 Seeker IDs. So you could go with like several different overwhelms here. Why Seeker ID in particular?
Sacred Identity is very good in this format. It's extremely good versus KP. Pretty good against Mecha if they're able to summon dudes. It can obviously trade 1-for-1 against Debro. Well, getting one whole battle card out the way. It's just very good in all matchups you'll run into.
Very cool. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think you can either go with this. Like your leader offers removal, so I think this is really good just to get some extra removal. Like a lot of decks this format do go wide, so I think that's definitely pretty solid. And then for our top end guys, we're playing the 1 Baby Hatch. We're playing 4 Obuni and 2 Android 17 Turning the Tide. So I think when you look like Blue Baby, of course you're going to see Turning the Tide, right? Sometimes with a deck like Zamasu, people might be trying to end the game a little bit earlier, like maybe they're playing Golden Avenger, but you're going for the full-on turn 7 Turning the Tide, and you dropped it against me, and it was very, very scary. So was this like the win con in every matchup, or only certain matchups?
This card won me, I think, every game except for 2.
Okay.
It was very good. Get to it pretty consistently.
Nice. So yeah, you're really just trying to play defense, and that makes sense with the 4 heroic prospects and everything. So you're really trying to play defense, get to realistically turn 6 because Zeno will get you there a turn earlier, which is nice. So that definitely makes a lot of sense. And you're going with 4 Obuni. So the blue 4-drop slot has definitely become a lot more flexible. But you're just going 4 Obuni, no Murray Chums, nothing like that. What do you think about Murray Chum? Do you like it, or do you think Obuni is way better?
Booney's definitely way better, especially in this format where green's kind of been pushed out. I don't have to worry about the pesky, their counterplay card, 2-drop. Hidden Power of the Saiyans. I don't have to drop my whole hand for him. So right now, I think he's very good. We did have 2 extra 4-drops, but Booney is just so nuts when they have nothing they can really do about it. That's convenient.
Gotcha. And then just wrapping up the main deck, we got 4D Magic, 2 Incurring Prince Monaka, which I do like a lot in Zamasu. It kind of turns your deck into like a Unison slaying deck. I think you and Enamani both use this on me to clear my King Piccolo Unison. And then 3 Bean, which it depends on the format. Like 3 or 4 can be good. I think 4 is really good because KP swings with a lot of 15s, but I'll let you explain the 3 copies. And then we have the 2 SS4 Goku. So yeah, why don't you talk about the 3 Beans and the 2 Goku Unisons?
So the 3 beans really funny. We tried really hard to fit the 4th beam. There's already 51 cards. We just couldn't fit it. The more cards you put in, the less often you're going to see Zeno. And you really need to see Zeno in this type of deck. So 3 beans is where we kind of had to have it stay. We really couldn't fit the 4th beam without having to cut one of these other really important cards.
Gotcha.
Now,
And the Goku Unison, I know a lot of people do like it a lot, but you know, did you find it particularly useful?
absolutely, this card is part of the ultimate combo in the deck, whereas turn 5 you play him, they can't play the game their next turn. Turn 6 you slam down Baby Hatch, they can't play the game again, and then you charge to 7 and you play turn to tie, and then they can't play the game for a third turn in a row.
Gotcha. So the idea is really just like you're it seems like you're starting the game as like a mid-range deck, and then like you're trying to end the game like a hardcore control deck. So that definitely seems like a pretty solid strategy, and like it definitely worked against me one of the games. I believe you did that exact combo, which was definitely very, very hard to play through. So really solid there. And we'll go into the side deck. So I'll let you just kind of take us through the side deck real quick. Just talk about your choices and how useful or not useful they were.
All right, I guess we'll start off with the Final Hook Slash. It's very good for KP, getting their dudes off the board so you can have more time to swing with your leader. Untaps energy. It's also mainly pretty good to protect your Unison. KP doesn't produce a lot of damage early, but they can produce a lot of bodies. And with Zeno being a 9k, it's pretty important to keep him alive. Mecha Kabora is pretty good against anything that has a linear game plan. That's Debro, their 6 drops is. The Invoker matchup, if you're really scared of them, and some other, if you run into any rogue things that are super linear. Janemba, deck's really weak to hyper aggro, i.e. the Reboot Gohan, so we slotted him in case we ran into him. Android 21, also for KP. KP is going to be one of your harder matchups mechanically, because it can just slap your Unison to the next dimension. So you really, really want to keep all of their stuff off the board as easily as possible without having to use your leader effects. So you can draw more cards. She also works, she plays well with Zeno. If you Zeno and then play her, get rid of the Zeno energy, you don't have to neg anything except your leader skill, but she's very worth it when it happens. The one Furthering Destruction Champa, he's in there also for KP, so they're going to get used to you playing Manaka. You're going to swing your single strike. They're not going to expect you to slam down Champa, and then their Unison's gone. Kutsukai, good against KP, and Mecha. Mecha's a pretty decently annoying matchup, so you want to have Kutsukai. Also good against Launch, depending on which variant. There's like 4 variants, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
A million variants. Good against KP, Launch, anything wants to play things on your turn, Arrival decks. The Fu Shroud of Mystery, if you run into Control Sin, very good. If you run into Invoker, they literally can't play the game when you slam this card down. So he's really good for that. All Too Easy is there for your very aggressive matchups. Just a good slot in. It's a blue card. It comes back. Super cool. The other Fu, this one I call Science Boy. I love him. He's insane versus Debro. Slap him down. Turn all of them 0/0s back into 0/0s because the leader, obviously you need to warp a card per 0/5k you want to use for its effect. Triple attacker. Super strong versus Debro.
Very cool. I like the list a lot. I mean, I think you guys definitely built a Zamasu list that is very well equipped for the current meta because Zamasu hasn't been seen in quite some time. Any shoutouts you want to throw out there now that we're over with the deck profile?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, shout out to Amani Edwards. He's my main testing partner. We both came up with this deck together. Shout out to my team, the Absolute Units. And I guess shout out to the people hosting the event.
Very cool, man. All right. Thank you very much for your time. We'll see you next time.
Later.